Hey guys, welcome to the Name of Podcast. My name is Sierra.
I'm Leah.
And today we're going to be talking about Name of Boundaries. Let's get into it.
Okay, so on our last episode, you had told about how one of your standards, in a joking way, but then I pointed out this is really deep, that was not to get pregnant because of your experiences.
Yes.
But I pointed out that it's really important to realize that your experiences can really determine your standards, which in turn can set your boundaries.
Yes.
So can you talk more about that?
Sure.
Like, what boundaries did you have to put up for that?
Okay. I had to put up physical boundaries.
Yeah.
Like not engage in sexual activity because I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid and scarred from my experience of, I mean, this sounds bad, but I don't really mean it in this way, but like the experience of having a teen mom. Like, she did a great job. She raised us.
I love Letty.
Yeah, but I just didn't want that to be me.
Yeah.
Or like most of my, I saw like a generational thing, basically. So my mom had me at 18. Her mom had her at 18. My great-grandma had my grandma at 18. And on my dad's side, same thing. Like, they had kids very young, like as teens, and I just didn't want that for myself. So I had to figure out how I'm not going to do that. And the way you don't do that is by not doing sexual things with boys.
That's true.
See, stay away.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, but that's just a really, I think it's a good boundary to have, like, especially as like a Christian girl. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't need to be doing that anyway as a teenager, you know. But yeah, that was just a boundary I had to set for myself, just to make sure I don't put myself in situations. Because, like, obviously you're a teenager, there's hormones and things raging and stuff. But, like, if you don't put yourself in certain situations, like, if you don't put yourself, like, being alone with a guy, or, like, I'm not going to your house, or I'm not hanging out with you after a certain time, or I'm not talking to you after a certain time. I mean, those are kind of, like, a standard as well, but it's also a boundary. I guess it helps protect the boundary.
Yeah.
The standard helps protect the boundary.
That's really good.
Yeah. I think that's what that is. So, yeah, that's how I created that, and that was just based off of my life experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so good. The standard helps protect the boundary.
Yeah.
That's really good. Do you think, like, have you seen that all of your boundaries and your standards are aligned? Or is it kind of like a unspoken thing? Like, you kind of just...
I think if you have a boundary, you create the standard.
Yeah.
So if I have a strong boundary, which that is probably one of my strongest boundaries, I set the standard for it, and that's how I kind of avoid that.
Yeah.
But, like, within my household, like,
Yeah.
I know I should have boundaries in regards to, like, the way people talk to me or the way they treat my things, things like that. But it's not, like, a strong boundary. Like, I know I should have it, and it would be very healthy to communicate that and place that and set the standard to protect the boundary. But since it's not strong, my standards aren't aligned with it. So the boundary's not protected, and people just take my things and talk to me crazy.
Yeah. So like, the stronger the standard, the stronger your boundaries are going to be.
I think the stronger the boundary, the stronger the standard. Because, I have that in my mind, like, okay, don't touch my stuff, you shouldn't be talking to me that way. Yeah. But I don't have this standard of, like, if they do it, correct them.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. Okay, so stronger the boundary, the stronger the standard.
Yeah.
So, okay, so since we're, like, big sisters... Yeah. To go back to more of an uncomfortable topic. Sex. I can't. What would you say, like, because setting boundaries in general are really hard. Yeah. Because sometimes some people don't understand it. Yeah. like some people take it offensively, where it's like, why don't you want to have sex with me? Like, do you not like me? Do you not love me? Or, you know, even on a smaller scale of like work, like, why aren't you answering my text messages at all hours of the night? You know what I mean? But it's like, it's not personal, it's a boundary for your health, you know? How would you advise, like, you know, a teenage girl or a young girl in her 20s when it comes to setting boundaries in uncomfortable situations?
I just think it's something that you have to tell them up front, because a lot of people in this day just, they want to have sex and that's what they're going to do. Yeah, and a lot of people are doing it. Like,
it's normal.
Sometimes my ears are like, what?
Yeah. You did what?
Yeah, because it's like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The things I hear.
It's true.
I mean, to each their own, but I don't know. Anyways, I think it's like when you're talking to someone or dating someone, especially someone who's not like a Christian, because even some Christian boys are like, they don't really care about, they want to do it too.
This is true.
So
this is true.
They kind of just expect it.
Yeah.
So if you set the boundary of, like, for me, like, I would set the boundary of, like, the way that they can touch you. Or, like, if they're touching you, like, just tell them, like, don't touch me like that or something. Yeah. So, like, you would have that boundary. And then your standard around that to protect it would be you, like, telling them up front, like, okay, I'm not into having sex. Like, I'm waiting till marriage or however long you plan on waiting. Or, like, you have to be committed to me, or whatever your standard is, you have to communicate that. And then sometimes guys are a little sketch, and they will tell you things that they know that you want to hear to get what they want. So you can't be delusional. You can't be delusional. If you have this boundary,
period,
and you don't want to have sex with these boys, you can't be delusional, because they will con you, and you have to be strong.
That's true.
Because it's not an easy thing to resist.
No, it's not. Let's be
and
real.
They know how to con you. They know how to sweet talk you. Like, let's say you're telling him you want to wait till marriage and you love Jesus. God told me that you're for me and I want to marry you. So why not now? Excuse me? Like, what do you say?
Excuse me, sir.
Exactly. So
let me go talk to him about it real quick.
Yeah, let me see if he really did say that. How did you hear him exactly?
He'll say, no, he did not say that.
Absolutely not. But, yeah, so I think you set the standard by talking to them about it, and then you have to be firm on your boundaries. Because they can't, like, you can tell a guy anything, but if the boundary's not there, then he can't really respect it. You know what I mean? So, like, if you tell him, like, oh, I'm not having sex, and your boundary's not firm, and he can touch you and kiss you and do all these things, he doesn't hear your standard. So,
which is an example of disrespect.
Yes.
Which we were talking about in the last episode.
That is.
Somebody who really loves you respects your boundaries, respects your standards. They'll meet your standards because they respect you.
Yeah. And you have to, like, they can't read your mind, so you really have to communicate it.
Yeah.
And yes, body language, like, they can read body language, but sometimes you gotta say it too. Yeah. Because, like, they'll respect you as much as you respect yourself. So
that's good.
If you allow him to, like, touch you a little bit and it makes you uncomfortable, but he doesn't know that, he's gonna keep touching you.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you gotta talk about it. I think you said something really good, is that, like, communication is a big part of boundaries. Yeah. People don't know where they're overstepping if you don't tell them. Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the times, I mean, there are very malicious people in the world, but a lot of the times people are not trying to be malicious with you and take advantage of you, but they just don't know that you have this boundary. Sometimes you don't even know you have that boundary on yourself, which is really a good time for, like, self-reflection of, like, well, when this person said this or did this, why did that trigger me to get really upset? You know, why did that rub me the wrong way or whatever? and it's because you have a boundary, but you never knew you had it there for whatever reason. That's a good time to go back to yourself, you know, and ask like, oh God, why am I feeling this way? Why am I angry at this person for texting me at night? You know what I mean? But like, communication is huge.
It is. And also with that, like, sometimes we can have unhealthy boundaries too. So you have to, like, let's say, I don't know, you don't like them touching you because of past experiences. I mean, that's healthy for you, but you also, that you have to, like, dive deep into that and really try to heal from whatever.
Yeah, that's so true.
Whatever it is. I mean, it doesn't have to be a sexual thing, but, like, it can be with anything.
Yeah.
To I guess, like, heal from what has hurt you. To then create a healthy boundary. Like, you don't have this boundary out of trauma, but you have it out of, like, goodness and, like, health wise, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. Besides relationship wise, what are some other ways that you see boundaries in life in general? Like friendship, work, anything?
I think another one that's I think relationships is a big one. Another big one, I think, would be, like, work boundaries. Especially, like, for the work that we do. Like, we're kind of, like, off the clock. So it's, like, 24-hour type of thing.
Yeah.
But not really.
No.
If you have the boundary.
Yeah.
And if that boundary's strong and you have the standard.
Yeah.
You can maneuver it. But if it's weak, which... Like, it's hard to have a work-life balance when you do what we do. But in order to balance work, you have to have those boundaries.
Yeah.
And, I mean, in a way, like, communication, like, how people want to, like, tell us, like, oh, can you do this? And it's literally you want it done in 2 hours. Or it's literally 8 o'clock at night. Or, like, this is not part of what I do, but this is not part of what you do, but can you do this for me?
Or it's your cousin's birthday and you're trying to be with your family. Yeah.
So I think setting boundaries in that way, maybe, like, it's a communication thing too. I think. Yeah, that's good. I think it's all going to come down to communication. Yeah. Honestly, any boundary you have to communicate with the other person, because these people cannot read your mind.
That's true. Very true.
And then also, that's the respect thing. If they don't respect your boundary,
they're not for you.
Yeah. Even for work. Like, if work can't respect that you only take calls from 9 to 5. Yeah. Or I don't do last minute projects. Or this is the services you picked. This is what you're getting. Like, I stop trying to, like, maneuver your way into free stuff or into, I don't know, getting more out of me. Like, this is not that. Yeah. This is my boundary. I'm communicating this to you. If you cannot accept that, please find these services elsewhere, because you can.
Please find these services elsewhere. You heard it here. Find it elsewhere. No, that's good, because I've definitely had a really unhealthy work boundary at one point in my life.
And it's I think work boundaries is not easy to do. No, because you're technically, like, working for these people, and you want to give them the best service and the best of what you can do.
You make a good impression.
Yeah, so it's hard. And any boundary is probably hard to communicate. Yeah. Especially the dating one. Like, if you really like this guy.
Yeah, you don't want to turn them away.
But you have these values and this boundary that you have to communicate.
Yeah. I think, like, for boundaries, what I've realized, it comes down to what I value the most in my life. Like, when I had a really unhealthy work boundary, I realized, after coming out of that season when I was working there, I realized my values were a little wonky. And the Lord really, like, it was a crazy season, but the Lord really put me in a season where my values completely shifted, and now, like, I do the same type of work, but I do it for different things, and I have very clear boundaries. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't respond on the weekends. Like, that's my time for family. It's my time for, church and all this stuff like that. I don't want to do any of that after work hours, you know what I mean? Like, my husband's home, I want to be with him, and take care of my household. But at that time, like, I was letting it kind of steamroll all over me. You know what I mean?
And you get all unorganized. And I think when you are in a situation where your boundaries are being stepped on, it creates like a pressure.
Yeah.
So like when you are removed from the situation, there's like a weight lifted off your shoulder.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And like, that can't be healthy.
No.
They can't be healthy.
No. Something I learned from this conversation is that communication really helps to drive the boundary. But your values really help to like make sure that it's like a stable thing. You know, and people don't walk all over it.
Yeah.
And people don't take advantage of you. So I'd say like your values and communication are like hand in hand.
Yeah.
When it comes to boundaries. Yeah.
What's the order of like the sandwich?
Yes, we talked about a sandwich earlier today. When it comes to standards, boundaries, all the things. And here's our secret recipe for you. Ready? The bottom bun. It's not a sandwich. It's a hamburger.
Yes.
Are sandwiches hamburgers?
I mean,
are hamburger sandwiches?
No, because they say chicken sandwich.
They don't say hamburger sandwich. Wow. The bottom bun is your values. Your meat or meat substitute option is the boundaries. Your, you know, fun stuff on it, your cheese, your lettuce, your tomatoes, if you like onions, is like your standards.
Yes. And
then your top bun is your goals.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, you need all that to reach something. And that doesn't mean your goal is, yes, your goal can be to be like a famous rock star, but I'm not talking about goals like that. I'm talking about your goal of having a healthier work-life balance. My value is to value my life at home with my family and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to place a boundary on my work environment. They can't talk to me after 9 to 5 or on the weekends. So I'm setting standards for them. Here's the rules. Talk to me 9 to 5. I'll get back to you on the next Monday if I can't. So then I'm going to reach my goal of now I have a healthier work-life balance.
Yep. And now you can take a big, beautiful bite of your
healthy life
burger sandwich. Perfect.
Healthy life burger sandwich. I love that.
That is cute.
To end the episode, what's one boundary you want to set for yourself?
To say no. I want to say no when I want to say no or when I need to say no so that I can carry on about my day and my priorities. Oh, also, I think I would like to prioritize myself because I rarely have ever done that in my entire life. Rarely. I'm a big sister. Half of my life goes to them.
You take care of people.
Not now, but like they're old now.
Yeah.
Like half of my life before they were old
was taking care
of humans. And then
that's true.
Now I'm a certified people pleaser, or I just prioritize everyone else. So I don't know if that's a boundary per se.
No.
If I say no and then prioritize myself.
Yeah, it's because you're prioritizing yourself that you're
boundary
saying
is no. Standard is boundary is prioritizing myself. Standard is saying no to protect me prioritizing me.
That's good. That's really good.
What about you?
And my boundaries, well, the boundary I want to set is a good work-life balance with my new work stuff that I'm doing. So to do that, I'm going to communicate. I have to communicate. I have not been communicating, and I confess, I have not been communicating. I'm going to communicate. You heard it here.
You heard it here first, folks.
All right, set those boundaries.
Set your boundaries. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 5.
Oh my god.
This is episode 5, Leah.
Should we throw a party?
We should.
Okay.
Do you guys want to have a party?
I'm saying that's a yes. Okay.